What if the universe had a secret code hidden in plain sight, waiting for you to crack it? And that code could turn every struggle into a stepping stone toward limitless abundance. Imagine a manuscript, dust-covered and forgotten, that contains the exact formulas the richest emperors, the greatest innovators, and the most revered mystics have used for centuries. Feel that shiver. That is the feeling of realizing that nothing in your life is random, that every triumph, every failure, every missed opportunity is a response to an unseen set of laws. Do you ever wonder why some people seem to attract money like a magnet, while others watch their dreams dissolve into the background? The answer is not luck. It is not hard work alone. It is a mastery of principles that most people never even see. Stay with me for the next 31 minutes and I will hand you a map. A map that will let you see those hidden currents, align yourself with them, and watch reality bend to your will. If this feels like the moment you've been waiting for, give this video a like right now. It tells the algorithm that you are serious about changing the game, and it helps others who are hungry for the same truth to find it. Every day, you hear stories of people who seem to walk into success without breaking a sweat, while the rest of us grind endlessly and still feel stuck. Most of us call it luck, we call it timing, we call it fate. But luck is simply the word we use for a law we don't understand. The hidden manuscript I'm about to reveal is called the Keybowl. It was compiled by a Hermetic scholar who spent his life deciphering the 7 immutable principles that govern every particle, every thought, every heartbeat. This book vanished from the world for centuries, guarded by a secret order that believed the knowledge was too powerful for the unready, until now. In the early 19th century, an intrepid explorer stumbled upon a sealed vault high in a mountain monastery. Inside lay a leather-bound tome, its pages yellowed, its ink still shimmering with an ancient energy. The explorer's descendant, a scholar obsessed with the occult, digitized the manuscript and shared it online, daring us to look inside. Why was it hidden for so long? Because knowledge is power, and power is dangerous in the wrong hands. The guardians of the Cabal believed that only those who could truly grasp the responsibility would be able to wield it without destroying themselves. So, what does this book contain? 7 principles, each a pillar that supports the entire edifice of reality. Each principle is a key, and together they unlock the door to a life where you're no longer at the mercy of circumstance, but the architect of your destiny. The first principle is the principle of mentalism. Everything is mind. The universe, in its purest form, is a vast, conscious thought. All the stars, all the oceans, all the moments you experience are manifestations of that universal mind. If the universe is mental, then your own mind is a fragment of that grand consciousness, and you hold within it the creative spark that can shape worlds. Think about a skyscraper. Before the steel rises, before the concrete sets, before the windows gleam, there is a design, a blueprint, a mental image of the structure. The same process happens inside you. Every business you build, every relationship you nurture, every health transformation you undergo begins as a thought, a vision, a feeling. The ancient sages called this the all, the underlying reality that underpins every appearance, every form. It is not a physical force you can see. It is the source, the supreme consciousness that births everything. This is not poetic metaphor. It is a scientific observation if you look at quantum fields, where particles exist as possibilities until observed by consciousness. The moment you observe, you collapse possibilities into reality. Your thoughts are the observation that brings your future into being. If you accept that the universe is mental, then your thoughts are not just fleeting whispers. They are the levers that move the massive gears of destiny. The moment you think, "I am a failure," your mind sends a signal that aligns your actions, your opportunities, and even the people you meet with that belief. Conversely, when you think, "I am abundant," you tune your inner frequency to attract resources, ideas, and connections that match that vibration. It is not magic. It is cause and effect on a mental level. The ancient masters, Buddha, Napoleon, Tesla, understood this. Buddha visualized enlightenment before he ever stepped onto the path. Napoleon imagined his empire before the first battle. Tesla saw his inventions in perfect detail before any wire was laid. Their reality was a direct projection of their mental blueprint. But here is the catch. Most people are slaves to unconscious thoughts, to the programming handed down by society, by family, by culture. They wander through life with a noisy mind that drifts from one worry to the next, never mastering the helm. To dominate the hidden laws, you must first become the captain of your internal dialogue. Notice the stories you tell yourself. Are they stories of scarcity or of plenty? Are they riddled with "I can't" or filled with "I will"? The first step is simple. Become aware, then redirect. Visualize your goal with crystal clarity. See it not as a distant dream, but as a present fact. Feel the emotions of already having it. Let that feeling guide every decision you make today. Now, let's talk about the second principle: correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. This principle reveals that every level of reality mirrors every other level. The pattern you see in a leaf is the same pattern that governs galaxies. The rhythm of your heartbeat echoes the pulse of the earth. When you understand that your inner world creates your outer world, you gain the power to reshape the external by first reshaping the internal. If you are chaotic inside, your life will be chaotic outside. If you cultivate calm, order, and purpose within, the world will respond with the same. Imagine a lake. Throw a stone and watch the ripples travel outward, touching every shore. Your thoughts are the stone. The universe is the lake. The ripples are the consequences, the opportunities, the people you meet. When the stone is thrown with intention, the ripples are purposeful. When it's tossed carelessly, the ripples are random. The ancient alchemists studied the stars to understand the soul. The modern scientist studies the brain to understand the market. All are using the same law of correspondence. What does this mean for you? It means that before you try to change your job, your income, your relationships, you must first examine the thoughts you hold about those very things. Do you believe you are unworthy of wealth? Do you see scarcity as a permanent state? Those beliefs are the internal patterns that manifest as external limitations. Change the belief, change the pattern, and the world reshapes itself. This is why people who practice meditation, who journal their intentions, who deliberately cultivate gratitude, often see a sudden influx of opportunities. They are aligning their inner frequency with the outer flow. Now, let me ask you, what is the most persistent obstacle you face right now? Is it fear of failure? A feeling of not being enough? A belief that you lack the resources? Write that down in the comments. I want to see what you're wrestling with, because the next part of this journey will give you a concrete tool to dismantle that very obstacle using the third principle: vibration. If you're feeling the weight of this revelation, if this is opening doors in your mind, consider subscribing. It's not just a button. It's a commitment to keep walking this path together, to uncover each hidden layer of the cabal and to turn knowledge into power. The third principle, vibration, states that everything in existence moves, vibrates, and resonates at a specific frequency. Nothing is truly still. From the tiniest quark to the largest galaxy, each entity emits an energy signature. Your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs each have a frequency. When you emit a low vibration, fear, doubt, resentment, you attract circumstances that match that low energy. When you emit a high vibration, joy, love, confidence, you draw in high-frequency experiences. This is why people talk about raising your vibration. It is not New Age fluff. It is physics meeting consciousness. When you align your personal frequency with the frequency of what you desire, you create resonance. And resonance is the bridge that turns desire into reality. To harness vibration, you must first become aware of what you are emitting at any given moment. Notice the subtle shifts in your body when you think a certain thought. Does your chest tighten? Does your breath become shallow? Those are the physiological markers of a low vibration. Conversely, a feeling of lightness, a smile that spreads from inside, a deep breath, these are signs of a high vibration. Practice shifting. When a negative thought arises, consciously replace it with a positive affirmation. Feel the shift in your chest. Let the new vibration ripple outward. Over time, this becomes a habit, a second nature, and the universe will begin to respond in kind. The fourth principle, polarity, explains that everything has an opposite, and that these opposites are actually two extremes of the same thing. Light and dark, success and failure, love and fear. They are not separate. They are two sides of the same coin. Understanding polarity lets you see that the very thing you fear contains the seed of its opposite. When you embrace the shadow, you gain the power to transform it into light. This is why the richest people speak of failing forward. They recognize that failure is simply the opposite pole of success, and by moving through it, they accelerate toward their goal. Now, think about a time when you faced a setback. What did you learn? How did that lesson propel you forward? That is polarity in action. The hidden manuscript teaches you to not run from the opposite pole, but to dance with it, to use it as fuel. When you internalize this, you stop seeing obstacles as dead ends and start seeing them as stepping stones. We are only part way through the Cabal, but already the picture is forming. The principles are not isolated. They interlock like gears in a grand clockwork. Mentalism gives you the source. Correspondence shows you the mirror. Vibration tunes the frequency. Polarity balances the extremes. The next principles, cause and effect, rhythm and gender, will complete the system, giving you a full operating manual for reality itself. Before we move deeper, I want you to pause and reflect. Take a breath and ask yourself, what reality are you currently creating with your thoughts? Is it a reality of limitation or of abundance? Share your insight in the comments. I'm curious to see how far you've already traveled on this path. And if this insight sparked something inside you, hit that like button. Your engagement fuels the channel and helps more seekers find this hidden knowledge. In a moment, we will dive into the principle of cause and effect, the engine that drives every action and consequence. We will see how to become the intentional cause rather than the accidental effect. Stay with me, because once you understand how to command the cause, you will never be a victim of circumstance again. The master key is just around the corner. The principle of cause and effect is not a vague moral saying about karma. It is the precise wiring of the universe, the hidden circuitry that translates thought into matter, intention into outcome. Imagine a river flowing through a canyon. The water follows the path that the rock has carved. The rock is the cause, the water, the effect. In your life, the thoughts you nurture, the decisions you make, are the rocks you place in the canyon of existence. If you place a rock of fear, the river will be forced to twist, to create turbulence, to erode its banks. If you place a rock of confidence, the water will glide smoothly, carving a channel that leads to abundance. Now, ask yourself, what rocks have you been laying down? Have you been building walls of doubt or bridges of belief? The hidden manuscript teaches that every cause sends out a ripple, a vibration that attracts its matching effect. This is why successful people speak of setting the intention before they even speak a word. They are aligning the cause before the effect can manifest. They are not waiting for luck. They are engineering the outcome. Let's break this down into 3 practical steps you can start using today. First, awareness. Notice the thoughts that dominate your mind. Are they centered on scarcity? On lack? On what you cannot have? Those are the negative causes that will inevitably attract negative effects. Second, reprogramming. Replace each scarcity thought with a statement of abundance. Instead of, "I cannot afford that," say, "I am creating the resources needed to afford it." This tiny shift changes the cause at its core. Third, action aligned with intention. When you decide to act, do it from a place of certainty, not hesitation. If you want to launch a new project, start by visualizing the finished product. Feel the excitement, as if it already exists. Then take the first concrete step. The universe reads this alignment and responds with a corresponding effect. Feel the power of this. Picture yourself standing at a crossroads, one path leading to a life of reactive living, the other to a life of proactive creation. The choice is yours, but the moment you decide, the universe instantly begins to rearrange itself to accommodate your decision. That is the magic of cause and effect in action. Now, let's test this with a simple experiment. For the next 24 hours, track every thought that pops up about money. Write it down, no matter how fleeting. At the end of the day, count how many were negative versus positive. Then, rewrite each negative thought into its positive counterpart. Notice how the energy in the room shifts, how opportunities seem to appear where before there were only obstacles. This is not imagination. It is the cause reshaping the effect. Take a breath. Feel the weight of your own influence. You are not a passenger on a train you cannot control. You are the engineer, the conductor, the very tracks upon which the train rides. When the hidden manuscript says, "Be the cause," it is demanding that you step into the driver's seat and steer with purpose. Now, let's move to the next principle, the principle of rhythm. Everything in the cosmos moves in cycles, in patterns, in beats. The tide rises and falls, the seasons turn, the heart beats. Even the markets, the moods of crowds, the ebb and flow of inspiration all follow a rhythm. If you can recognize the rhythm of your own life, you can ride its waves instead of being tossed about. Think of a dancer. She does not fight the music. She moves with it. She anticipates the rise, the fall, the pause, the climax. In the same way, you can learn to anticipate the peaks of opportunity and the troughs of challenge. When the rhythm is high, push forward, expand, take bold actions. When the rhythm slows, retreat, reflect, consolidate, and prepare for the next surge. This is why the most successful entrepreneurs talk about working with the market cycles. They are simply aligning themselves with the universal rhythm. How do you detect the rhythm? Start by observing your own energy levels throughout the day. Notice when you feel most alive, when ideas flow effortlessly, when you are in a state of flow. Those are the high points of your personal rhythm. Then notice the low points, the times when you feel stuck, when decisions feel heavy. Those are the valleys. By mapping these, you can schedule your most demanding tasks during the peaks and reserve the valleys for rest, planning, and recovery. Consider the story of a famous investor who once said that the market is a living organism. He would step back during a bear phase, using the time to study, to learn, to refine his strategies. Then, when the bull market surged, he would act decisively, riding the wave to massive gains. He was not merely lucky, he was attuned to the rhythm. Now, reflect on your own rhythm. When do you feel most creative? When do you feel most disciplined? Write it down. Share it in the comments. I'm curious to see how many of you are already dancing with your own rhythm, and how many are still stepping on the cracks. The next principle, the principle of gender, often raises eyebrows because it seems to belong to old mythologies. But it is not about male or female. It is about the dual forces of creation and reception, of active and passive energy that exist in everything. In the hidden manuscript, gender is described as the yin and yang, the sun and moon, the seed and the soil. Both are required for any manifestation to occur. One cannot exist without the other. Imagine you are planting a seed. The seed carries the potential, the masculine spark of intention. The soil, the feminine, receives, nurtures, provides the environment for growth. If you only have intention without the nurturing environment, the seed will never sprout. If you only have a fertile soil without any seed, nothing will grow. In your life, the principle of gender reminds you to balance action with receptivity. It tells you to be assertive when needed, but also to be open, to listen, to allow. Successful people embody this balance. They take decisive steps, but they also create space for ideas to percolate, for feedback to arrive, for collaboration to emerge. They are not rigid. They are fluid. They understand that the masculine energy of will must be met with the feminine energy of patience, of trust in the process. How can you apply this? Start by examining a current goal. Identify the actions you need to take, the masculine component. Then identify the support structures you need, the feminine component. Perhaps you need to network, to seek mentorship, to create an environment that nurtures your idea. Or perhaps you need to set boundaries, to protect your focus. By consciously balancing these forces, you give your goal the best chance to manifest. Now, let's bring all these principles together, because the hidden manuscript does not present them as isolated lessons. They are interlocking gears, each turning the next, creating a self-sustaining engine of reality. Mentalism is the source, the blank canvas. Correspondence mirrors that canvas in the world around you. Vibration tunes the frequency of your thoughts. Polarity balances the extremes, turning obstacles into opportunities. Cause and effect drives the engine forward, ensuring that every intention produces a result. Rhythm guides the timing, the flow, the cadence of action. Gender supplies the balance of creation and reception. When you align with all seven, you hold the master key to your own destiny. You might be wondering, how does this look in everyday life? Let me paint a picture. Imagine waking up each morning with a clear mental image of the life you desire. That is mentalism. You then look around your environment, your workspace, your relationships, your habits, and see them as reflections of that inner image. That is correspondence. You adjust your thoughts, your emotions, your language to vibrate at the frequency of abundance. That is vibration. When a setback appears, you recognize it as the opposite pole of success, an invitation to grow. That is polarity. You then set a concrete intention, a cause, and take a deliberate step toward it, knowing that the universe will respond. That is cause and effect. You act during your peak energy hours, and you rest during the low tides, honoring the natural flow. That is rhythm. Finally, you balance your drive with openness, seeking support, listening to intuition, allowing the process to unfold. That is gender. When all these work in harmony, you become a living embodiment of the hidden manuscript's teachings. You no longer feel like you are at the mercy of external forces. You become the architect, the engineer, the alchemist of your reality. Now, let's dig deeper into the principle of cause and effect, because this is where the transformation truly accelerates. The hidden manuscript uses a vivid metaphor, a chessboard. Each piece you move represents a cause. The opponent's response is the effect. But unlike a game where the opponent is another person, the opponent here is the universe itself. Every move you make sends a signal. The universe reads that signal and replies with the most fitting response. The better you understand the rules of the game, the more you can anticipate the universe's moves. One of the most powerful techniques described is called preemptive causation. It is the practice of creating a cause before the effect even appears, essentially pulling the future into the present. How does this work? It starts with a vivid mental rehearsal. Close your eyes and see yourself already having achieved the goal. Feel the emotions, the pride, the gratitude. This mental image is a cause, a seed that the universe can recognize. Then act in a way that aligns with that image. For example, if you see yourself as a confident public speaker, start practicing your speech daily. Adopt the posture of confidence. Speak to a mirror. Record yourself. Each of these actions is a cause that signals to the universe that you are ready to receive the effect. Successful speaking engagements, recognition, influence. Preemptive causation is not wishful thinking. It is a disciplined alignment of thought, emotion, and action that creates a magnetic pull. When you consistently embody the future you desire, you generate a field that attracts opportunities, resources, and people who can help you manifest that future. This is why many high achievers talk about living as if the goal is already yours. They are not deluding themselves. They are engineering the cause that will inevitably produce the effect. Let's test this together. Choose one goal you have been dreaming about. A promotion, a new business, a healthier body. Write down in detail how it feels to have already achieved it. Write the emotions, the sensory details, the conversations you would have. Then identify 3 daily actions that would be natural for the person who already has that goal. Commit to those actions for the next 30 days. As you do, notice how the world begins to shift. Doors open, people reach out, resources appear. That is cause meeting effect. Now, a quick reminder. The universe does not respond to vague wishes. It responds to specific, energized causes. If your intention is blurry, the effect will be blurry as well. So be precise. If you want more wealth, define the amount, the feeling, the purpose behind it. If you want better health, describe the exact state, energy levels, stamina, the ability to run a mile without fatigue. The more detailed your cause, the clearer the effect. Another critical aspect of cause and effect is responsibility. When you claim to be the cause, you also accept that every effect, good or bad, is a reflection of your previous causes. This can be uncomfortable at first, because it strips away the excuse of bad luck. But it also empowers you. It tells you that you can change any future outcome by changing the present cause. It is the ultimate freedom. Consider this scenario. You missed a deadline and faced criticism. If you blame external factors, you remain stuck. If you examine the cause, perhaps procrastination, lack of a clear plan, you can adjust your habits, set earlier milestones, create accountability. The next deadline will be met, and the criticism will dissolve. By owning the cause, you become the master of your destiny. Now, let's weave the principle of rhythm into cause and effect. Timing is a crucial component of any cause. A cause planted at the wrong time may not germinate. Think of planting a seed in winter. The soil is too cold, the water too scarce. The seed will lie dormant or die. Plant it in spring, and it bursts into life. Similarly, your actions must align with the natural cycles of opportunity. If you launch a product when the market is saturated, the cause may not generate the desired effect. If you launch when demand is rising, the effect will be amplified. To synchronize with rhythm, develop a habit of scanning the environment. Observe trends, listen to conversations, monitor market signals. Align your major moves with peaks of interest, with seasons of demand. This doesn't mean you wait passively. It means you act strategically, using the rhythm as a catalyst. When you combine precise cause with optimal timing, the effect becomes exponential. And now, the principle of gender adds another layer. Every cause needs both the assertive spark and the receptive soil. If you push too hard without allowing space, you create resistance. If you are too passive, the cause remains dormant. The balance is found in dynamic flow. For instance, when negotiating a deal, you present a clear, confident offer, the masculine action. Then you pause, listen, allow the other party to respond, the feminine receptivity. This dance often results in a better outcome than a one-sided approach. Let's illustrate with a personal story. A friend of mine wanted to transition into a new career. He started by defining his target role, updating his resume, and reaching out to contacts, pure cause. But he also spent time reflecting on his values, listening to mentors, and allowing the process to unfold without forcing every conversation. He embraced both sides, and within 6 months, he landed a position that exceeded his expectations. The cause was strong, the timing was right, the rhythm was followed, and the gender balance kept the process fluid. Now, imagine you have integrated all 7 principles. You sit at a desk, your mind clear, your environment reflecting your vision, your thoughts vibrating at the frequency of success, your challenges seen as opposite poles you can ride, your actions intentional causes, your schedule synced with natural rhythms, and your approach balanced between decisive action and open receptivity. This is not a fantasy. It is a lived reality for those who have mastered the hidden manuscript. What does this look like on a day-to-day basis? In the morning, you begin with a mental rehearsal, visualizing your goals as already achieved. You notice the symbols around you, your desk, the sunlight, the sounds, as reflections of that inner state. You set an intention, a cause for the day, perhaps to complete a key project segment. You check the rhythm of your personal energy, choosing to tackle the most demanding task during your peak. You remember the polarity principle, framing any obstacles as opportunities to refine your approach. You maintain the gender balance by taking decisive steps, while also staying open to feedback. Throughout the day, you observe the cause and effect feedback loop. Small wins reinforce your confidence. Larger outcomes begin to manifest. At night, you review. You journal the causes you set, the effects you observed, the rhythms you rode, the poles you balanced. This reflection reinforces the mental circuitry, strengthening the neural pathways that support these principles. Over weeks, months, years, this practice rewires your reality. The universe begins to respond, predictably, like a well-tuned instrument. Now, let's talk about the master key, the culmination of the 7 principles. The hidden manuscript describes it as a single phrase, a compact formula that, when spoken, aligns every aspect of your being with the flow of creation. It is not a magic spell. It is a statement of alignment. The phrase goes, I am the cause. I am the effect. I am the rhythm. I am the polarity. I am the vibration. I am the correspondence. I am the mind. When you internalize this, you acknowledge that every principle resides within you. You are not separate from the laws. You are the embodiment of them. To activate the master key, repeat the phrase daily, preferably at sunrise, when the mind is most receptive. Feel each word as a truth. Let it resonate through your body. As you speak it, visualize the gears of the universe interlocking, turning smoothly, propelling you forward. Over time, this affirmation rewires your subconscious, making the principles automatic. People who have used this master key report profound shifts. They describe waking up with a sense of purpose, feeling that the world is conspiring in their favor, experiencing synchronicities that feel like signs. They no longer see setbacks as failures, but as guidance. Their financial situation improves, relationships deepen, health flourishes. The reason is simple. They have aligned their internal programming with the external laws governing reality. Now, I want you to try it. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes and repeat after me. I am the cause. I am the effect. I am the rhythm. I am the polarity. I am the vibration. I am the correspondence. I am the mind. Feel each declaration settle into your bones. Notice any shift in your posture, in your breathing, in the energy around you. This is the first activation of the master key. If you felt even a slight change, that is your mind beginning to tune into the frequency of the hidden manuscript. Keep practicing. The more you repeat, the stronger the resonance. Over days, weeks, you will notice that opportunities appear more readily, that decisions become clearer, that you move through life with a sense of effortless flow. Now, as we approach the end of this journey, let's recap the treasure you have uncovered. We started with the principle of mentalism, the understanding that reality is a mental construct. We moved to correspondence, the mirror that reflects inner thoughts outward. We tuned the vibration, the frequency that attracts similar energies. We balanced polarity, turning opposites into allies. We harnessed cause and effect, becoming the intentional architect of outcomes. We rode the rhythm, aligning with natural cycles. We embraced gender, blending action with receptivity. Finally, we activated the master key, the integrated statement that unites all 7. Each principle is a tool. Each tool is a key, and together they unlock the vault of unlimited potential. The hidden manuscript is no longer hidden. It lives within you, waiting to be wielded. Now, I have a few practical steps for you to embed this knowledge into your daily life. First, create a dedicated space, a small corner, a notebook, a digital file, where you record your observations of each principle. Write down moments when you notice mental patterns, when you see correspondence in your environment, when a vibration changes, when polarity flips, when a cause leads to an effect, when rhythm guides you, and when gender balance feels right. This journal becomes your map. Second, set a weekly principle review. Choose one principle each week to focus on. For 7 weeks, you will have lived each principle intensely. Notice the changes, the challenges, the breakthroughs. Share your experiences in the comments. I love reading how you all apply these ancient laws in modern life. Third, practice the Master Key affirmation twice a day, morning and evening. Pair it with a brief visualization of your goals already achieved. This reinforces the neural pathways and aligns your subconscious with the universal laws. Fourth, seek a community of seekers. The hidden manuscript thrives when shared. Join a discussion group, a forum, or simply a friend who is also interested. Discuss the principles, challenge each other, hold each other accountable. The collective vibration amplifies the individual effort. Fifth, experiment with cause and effect in a tangible way. Pick a small, measurable goal, a daily habit, a sales call, a creative output. Define the cause, execute it, and track the effect. Adjust based on results. This hands-on approach cements the theory into practice. Finally, remember that mastery is a journey, not a destination. The universe is constantly evolving, and so are you. Stay curious, stay humble, stay diligent. The hidden manuscript will continue to reveal deeper layers as you ascend. Now, I want to hear from you. What principle resonated most with you today? Which one feels like a missing puzzle piece in your life? Drop a comment below and let's start a conversation. Your insights could spark a revelation for someone else watching. If this video opened a new window of awareness, if you felt the stir of possibility, please give it a like. Your engagement signals to the algorithm that seekers like you are out there, and it helps more people find this hidden knowledge. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing. By doing so, you'll join a community dedicated to uncovering the secret laws that shape our reality, and you'll never miss a future deep dive into the mysteries that govern success, wealth, and fulfillment. Remember, the power to dominate your reality lies not in some external miracle, but within the 7 timeless principles you now hold. Use them, practice them, live them, and watch as the world bends to your will. The hidden manuscript is no longer a distant legend. It is your personal manual for creation. Thank you for traveling this path with me. Keep the fire of curiosity burning, keep the mind sharp, and keep stepping into the role of the conscious creator. Until our next exploration, stay aware, stay aligned, and remember, you are the cause. You are the effect. You are the rhythm. You are the polarity. You are the vibration. You are the correspondence. You are the mind. The master key is in your hands. Use it wisely.